In Muslim majority countries, your husband can just divorce you by a text message. Or he just calls you on the phone and tells you you've been divorced. I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you 3 times. This shake your shit. All right. Yeah, we continue with women's series. We are on women's series 10, Halala marriage. How to restore your marriage the Islamic way. How to restore your marriage the Islamic way. When your marriage is on the rocks, when your marriage dissolves, and then your husband has told you or divorced you 3 times, how do you get your marriage back to life? The Prophet of Islam, he is a mercy unto mankind. He has perfect, wonderful solutions for all of man's problems. Divorce is a major problem in society, and Muhammad has a solution. Let's read this hadith. Sahih al-Muslim 1433F, book 16, hadith number 133. Asha reported, a person divorced his wife by 3 pronouncements. So look, a person would divorce his wife by what? 3 pronouncements. Not that the person was divorced 3 times. No. The husband said 3 times that I have divorced you, I have divorced you, I have divorced you. In Islam, when your husband tells you, I've divorced you 1, I've divorced you 2, I've divorced you 3, on the 3rd time, your husband says that, it means that that marriage is completely dissolved and nothing can bring that marriage back up unless you follow the advice of the only prophet given for the benefit of mankind. Let's continue to read. 3 pronouncement. Then another person married her, and he also divorced her without having sexual intercourse with her. So the man, you see, let's say that you were angry with your wife and you say, hey, I've divorced you, I've divorced you, I've divorced you 3 times. Even if it was a joke, after a 3rd pronouncement, marriage is dissolved in Islam. You see how Sharia is? It's dissolved. And you cannot do anything except follow the advice of the prophet. Then the first husband of her intended to remarry her. So the second husband, you see, listen, this is the whole thing. This man said, I've divorced you 3 times. And then, so it's over. Now, this woman was married by another man. But the new man did not have any sexual intercourse with a woman. And then the original husband, possibly seeing that he didn't do it right, wanted to get what? His wife back. But like we know, this wife has not yet slept with this what? The new husband. So this would be a good opportunity to, like, in rational thinking, you'll be like, okay, if the man agrees, why not? He's not yet slept with my wife. I can have my wife back. And then, we talk about this. But no, Allah thinks differently. It was about such case that Allah's messenger was asked, whereupon he said, no. If you tell your wife, I've divorced you 3 times, no, you cannot have your wife back until the second husband has tasted her what? Sweetness, as the first one had tasted. In some of the translations say juice. So it means that your wife has to literally give her thing to do enjoyment. And it says what? To do what? He has to taste her sweetness as the first one had tasted. Aisha said this. Let's look at the Quran. Quran chapter 2 verse 230. If he has divorced her the third time, then she is not lawful unto him thereafter, until she has married another husband. Listen. Now, the Quran says, you see, the wisest prophet Allah gave to mankind to solve our problems. If you got angry and then you told your wife 3 times that you have divorced her, now your wife is not lawful unto you after that, until your wife marries another husband. And then if that new husband leaves her, then if the other husband divorces her, it is no sin on both of them that they reunite, provided they feel that they can keep the limits ordained by Allah. These are the limits of Allah, which He makes plain for the people who have knowledge. You understand that? So, Allah says, if you leave your wife, divorce your wife by 3 pronouncements. You see, they say the third time. No, that is by 3 pronouncements. The hadith makes it clear. You know, they're always lying with their translation. By 3 pronouncements, she is no longer lawful for you. What should you do? Allah says, your wife has to find a man who would marry her. After that, the man that marries her must not just marry her. The man, according to the hadith that we read, the man has to taste her thing, as the first man has done. After the new man has tasted your wife's thing, and they also divorce, now you can go back for your wife. The wisdom of the Almighty Allah. This marriage, so the second marriage. So now in Muslim countries where Sharia is in place, or even in communities where there's no Sharia, but in countries where there's no Sharia, but where Muslims are using Sharia in their communities, this is very prevalent. The women are suffering when your husband divorces you 3 times by 3 pronouncements. Now you must go to find yourself another man to do boom boom to you before you divorce and come back to your husband. Wisdom of Allah. This is called halala. Halala marriage. All over in Muslim majority countries. You see? So, if you had a little domestic problem with your spouse and you were angry, and then you text your wife, in Islam, usually in Arabic, in Islamic countries, it's talak. So when your husband texts you, sometimes, look, in Muslim majority countries, your husband can just divorce you by a text message. Or he just calls you on the phone and tells you you've been divorced. I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you 3 times. They say talak, 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 talak. He sends a text message, talak, talak, talak. And it's all over. Talak, 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 and it's all over. This is how Muslim women suffer at the hand of Islam in countries Sharia is in place. Sometimes, so I pity Muslim women in Muslim majority countries who keep pushing for Sharia because they don't understand. They have no idea what real Islam is. They start pushing for Sharia with hijab, that they should be allowed to wear hijab in the workplace, in school, etc. Wearing hijab is Sharia. So they push for what? Wearing a hijab, and even go on demonstration in the street for it, pushing for Sharia, but they do not understand that Sharia comes with so many things. Like this, how Muslim women suffer in Muslim countries. Your husband just texts you, talak, 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 your marriage is over, you must find you another man. Called halala what? Marriage. Let that man do boom boom to you. Play with your what? Excuse me to say, your private part. Enjoy it. And then that man will divorce you before you can go back to your husband. This is the wisdom of Allah. To solve what? Problems in family. How to restore your marriage in Islam. Allah has the best solution for everything. Let's go to what? Tafsir Jalalain. It has explanation on the verse 2:30. If he, the husband, divorces her after the third utterance of divorce. You saw that after the two utterances of divorce. After two utterances, it's not that your husband divorced you three times. He says it 2 times. After the second one, if he says it again, that's it. Read it. If he, the husband, divorces her after 2 utterances of divorce, she shall not be lawful to him after the third utterance of divorce, until she marries another husband who has sexual intercourse with her, as reported by 2 sheikhs, Buhari and Muslim. If he, the second husband, divorces her, then neither of them will be at fault. That is the woman and her first husband to return to each other in wedlock after the completion of the waiting period, if they think they will maintain God's bounds. You seen that? So, when you go to what today in Muslim majority countries and even in Europe and other places, there is marriage called halala, temporary marriage that women contract when their husband send them a text message, talak, 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 or when they are divorced. They get this man who come and what? Enjoy them, have boom boom with them, so that they can now what? Divorce. They can divorce this new man, and then they go back to their husband. You see how sick it is. And the man even is like a business now. You go online, halala marriage. Muslim sites, Muslim websites are there available in UK and other places where Muslim women who have been divorced, they can come and they give them a man. Just a man. They pay a man to marry them, and the man to do boom boom to them. And then they divorce the man, and they have their own sheikhs and stuff, clerics who are doing these things. This is the fruit of Islam. Halala marriage. This is the way you can restore your marriage in Islam. Run away from Islam. Shake your sheikh. Alright. Share this video.